The man is cleaning windows. He's high up on a building in New York City. It's the 1950s. He's using a bucket and a squeegee. He was one of the few who survived burning oil and shark attacks in the Philippine Sea in 1945. He was a survivor of the USS Indianapolis. Sarah Forbes Bonetta at 19. She was a Nigerian princess who was captured and later adopted by Queen Victoria in 1862. Jane Mansfield when she was in college before she dyed her hair blonde, which she did in 1954. This was taken in 1951. It was a Kodachrome shot. Frank Zane, 3 times Mr. Olympia, is doing the vacuum pose, which was his signature move. Other people did it too, but hardly anyone could do it as deeply as he could. This was in the late 1970s. Girls with Bound Feet, Shaanxi, China, 1930. The Doors frontman got arrested a few times from New Haven to Miami. His case in Miami in 1969 made the news. It's a portrait from the 1920s of the Iron Prefect, Cesare Mori. He was an Italian magistrate who was well known for his ruthless campaigns. These campaigns practically got rid of the mafia during the fascist period. Albert Einstein is with his son, Hans Albert Einstein, and his grandson, Bernhard Caesar Einstein, around 1933. Okay, so we're talking about Hans Christian Andersen. He was born in 1805 in Odense, Denmark. He became known for his fairy tales. He wrote The Little Mermaid, The Ugly Duckling, Thumbelina, and The Snow Queen. He died in 1875. Mexican Mazatec spiritual mushroom healer Maria Sabina. Sudeten Germans are celebrating after hearing the proclamation that Konrad Henlein demanded the Sudetenland join Germany in September of 1938. Victor Gollancz, a British humanitarian, is speaking at a rally in London. This is during the Sudetenland crisis, and the date is September 1938. The Granada Street Army, 1915. Actress Sophia Loren is serving food at the Cannes Film Festival from April 26th to May 10th, 1955. Indian scientists are gifting coconuts to the North Sentinelese in 1991. This is a costume used in the Fox film Just Imagine, which came out in 1930. It was designed by Alice O'Neill, Dolly Tree, and Sophie Walkman. Al-Khazne, Petra, Jordan. This elaborate tomb is thought to have been carved out of a sandstone rock face in the 1st century AD. Al Capone with a gang at a bar in 1945. Freddie Mercury, Jane Seymour, and Boy George at the Fashion Aid event. It was at the Royal Albert Hall in London on November 5th, 1985. The Nizam of Hyderabad, Mir Osman Ali, is paying homage to the crown, King George V and Queen, at the Delhi Durbar in 1911. This is a portrait of Muruguch, a Shoshone warrior. The photo was taken between 1884 and 1885. The arrival of television in a Soviet village, 1980. Wives are waving as a military train departs. England, 1940s. There's a punk, a rude boy, and a skinhead all hanging out together in England around 1980. Defiance, Berlin, around 1929. It's winter and you're on your bike. Men are running from an exploding balloon at Postfield, Fort Sill, Oklahoma on April 2, 1918. It's a portrait of two whistles, also known as Ishichosh of the Crow people, taken in 1908. The Brownies book was a magazine for black children. It had a mix of fairy tales, political news, puzzles, brain teasers, and poetry. It offered stories about influential black figures, as well as short stories on the achievements of ordinary young people. Carol Morris, Miss Universe 1956. The young woman from Iowa conquered the world by becoming the second American to win the Miss Universe title. Hillary Clinton is listening intently as her husband denies having an affair with Monica Lewinsky in the United States, 1998. Toto Riina, chief of the Sicilian Mafia for nearly 2 decades, waves at people in the courtroom after receiving his third life sentence in 1993. After subsequent trials, he was given in total 26 life sentences. Sylvester Stallone and Brigitte Nielsen, 1985. Pablo Picasso in his studio in Cannes, France, 1956. In 1989, there's a portrait of the Sultan of the Yogyakarta Sultanate, also known as His Majesty Sri Sultan Hamengkubuwana X, the son of Mataram, the commander of the sea, eternal on the continent, eternal in the religious order of Ngayogyakarta Hadiningrat. Elevator Girl, Martha Washington Hotel, 1917. Mikhail Bulgakov in 1928. This bright red payphone, photographed in Tokyo in 1953, is more than just retro. Intercity calls weren't allowed in Japan at the time, but by 1961, these machines had connected the country. In 1998, Honduras built a bridge over the Choluteca River, but Hurricane Mitch rerouted the river. Elaine Stewart from the 1950s. A Child's Coffin, Mexico, 1954. With nothing but devastation confronting him, this Chinese water boy still carried on after 4 days and nights of aerial bombardment at the hands of Japanese warplanes in Chongqing, China, on August 10, 1940. Prince Peter II of Yugoslavia and Prince Regent Paul around 1914. Kate Moss and Johnny Depp at a party in New York, 1995. The Grande Hotel in Beira, Mozambique, from the 1960s to the 2000s. Kim Basinger and Sean Connery from Never Say Never Again, which came out in 1983. A group of punks in Edinburgh, Scotland in 1983. This is the famous photo of Jerry West, which became the basis of the NBA logo. It was taken in 1969. Japanese citizens are waiting for an examination of their luggage and clothing before going back to Japan after the Second Sino-Japanese War. This happened in Shanghai, China, in December 1945. There was a Christmas party on Bondi Beach in Sydney in 1959. Linda Ronstadt, Barefoot in the Bike Shop, 1978. So, it's the 90s, and we're talking about Julia Roberts. Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone, Brigitte Nielsen, and Frank Stallone are at Six Flags Magic Mountain in 1987. Unemployed men wearing signs offering to work for $1 a week demonstrate in Times Square, New York in 1930. Waiting on the New York City subway in 1958. Joseph Goebbels and Japanese actress Setsuko Hara, Berlin, 1937. Physiotherapy used to be hands-off, you know, as seen at Walter Reed, 1920. Graduation ceremony at the United States Naval Academy, Annapolis, 1917. All right, a cross-dressed sailor, photographed in 1906. Sybil Shepherd around 1974. Dick Van Dyke and Julie Andrews are sharing a laugh on the set of Disney's Mary Poppins from 1964. George Roy Hill is talking to Robert Redford and Paul Newman about the look he wants for the big finish of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which came out in 1969. (1972) May 26th. Signing in Moscow of the Basics of Relations between the USSR and the USA. David Lynch with his first painting, 1963. Hitchhikers, France, 1970s. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, on the right, was at Groton School in the 1890s. French veterans are demonstrating for higher pensions at the Place de l'Opéra in Paris, France in 1950. Sir David Frederick Attenborough with Benjamin the Bear, 1956. Emma Samms, 1988. Angelina Jolie in 1996. Charlie Sheen and Willem Dafoe, 1986. Farmer Mrs. Maud Lee and her daughter Pat are enjoying breakfast with their pet sheep, Betty. This was in England, Bristol, in 1949. It's a wedding picture from Paris, 1956. So there's a vending machine. It's for airline trip insurance. The Christchurch College Ball at Oxford University, 1986. Lieutenant Kirk Booth, from the U.S. Signal Corps, is being lifted up into the sky by the giant Perkins man-carrying kite, and this is at Camp Devens in Ayer, Massachusetts during World War I. It's 1939. Soviet and Nazi soldiers are talking after they invaded Poland. A basket maker, Czech Republic, 1968. Frederick Douglass is posing with his grandson Joseph in 1894. Oppenheimer was teaching quantum theory at Kyoto University in Japan, back in September of 1960. Yuri Gagarin with his Matra bonnet, Jet versus Coupe, 1965. Leicester, England, 1950s, when coal was very much the #1 energy source. The Fife and Drum Corps leads the Grand Army of the Republic during a Memorial Day parade on May 30th, 1927. Lawrence Welk spoke to the audience at the Aragon Ballroom in Santa Monica, California in 1957. Lenin and Krupskaya in Gorky, 1922. Winston Churchill is 6 years old, and he's with his aunt, Lady Leslie, in 1880. A postcard showing Princess Victoria Louise of Prussia in the uniform of the 2nd Life Hussars Regiment, October 10, 1909. Adolf Hitler and Joseph Goebbels, 1943. The winner of the 1945 Miss America pageant was 21-year-old Bess Meyerson of New York City. This is about the Berg Island Caterpillar ferry with a 24-horsepower engine. It's in Devon, England in 1935. Refugees crowd at the registration office of the Transit Bureau. It's in the Schlachtensee Displaced Persons Camp, Zehlendorf, Berlin in 1947. A young lady is at a spinning wheel in Ireland in 1905. The Vietnam War during the 1960s. Angus Barbieri. "I won't eat until I lose weight," says the obese man. He lasted 382 days, and doctors noticed something unexpected. 1966 to 1965. A Polish riot squad, Poland, 1939. All right, we're in a Fanta shop in Moscow, in the Soviet Union, sometime in the late 1980s. Life in the Navy, fencing aboard a Japanese battleship, around 1910 to 1915. The process of destroying worn-out banknotes is at the U.S. Treasury. It was in Washington, 1912. Little Cowboy, 1935. Southport, England, 1928. This captured the exact moment a racing car overturned. It was Miss Mary Cunliffe, an English driver during a 100-mile race on the Southport sands. It shows her father, who was riding with her, being thrown to his death. Ike Sims, from Atlanta, Georgia, who is 87 years old, has 11 sons in the service. This was between 1917 and 1918. Ivy Russell, born 1907 in Surrey, England, was a strong woman, weightlifter, wrestler, fencer, boxer, gymnast, and all-around athlete. She's posing at her home around the 1930s. She was 1.7 meters tall and weighed 60 kilos. It's a travel ad from Black Belt magazine, 1968. I bet it wouldn't get published nowadays. Kate Winslet, 1996. There was a human zoo for the World Exhibition in Belgium in 1958. It was called Congo Village. President Richard Nixon plays the piano at the Truman Library in 1969. A black American man comes out of the white men-only bathroom at the courthouse in Clinton, Louisiana in 1964. Vladimir Putin, who was 40 years old, is carrying bags for Anatoly Sobchak, the mayor of St. Petersburg. This was during Putin's time as the head of the Committee for External Relations for the city in 1992. Kabuto Santaro, a Japanese military commander, is wearing traditional armor. This was in 1863. An ironworker is working during the construction of the Columbia Tower in Seattle, 1984. A girl is walking down a flight of stairs with a pet alligator. This is England in 1976. They're catching fish on Lake Constance. This happened in Germany in 1928. Acrobat Hans Prignitz does a handstand on St. Michael's Church in Hamburg, Germany in 1948. There's a shy, young boy. He's selling a handful of candies. He's sitting on a chair in the street. It's in the Warsaw Ghetto during World War II. Orson Welles and Charlie Chaplin at the Brown Derby in Hollywood, 1947. It's an SBD production line from 1943. Burger Queen, Tampa, the 1950s. Houdini was entertaining hospitalized children in 1925.